Separate shootings in less than 4 hours, 2 of them deadly, 1 of them involving young people. Atlanta News First Don Shipman live outside Atlanta Police Headquarters downtown. And Don, it was a violent night across the city, causing a lot of people to wonder about safety as we head into the busy summer months.
That is so true. In all, 7 people were shot, 2 of them killed, and like you said, one of them just 16 years old.
A violent night across metro Atlanta left police stretched thin investigating multiple shootings. One of them involved 2 16-year-olds in a gunfight. 1 teen killed, the other rushed to the hospital.
The decedent shot the surviving 16-year-old who returned fire, striking and killing him.
Is it all gang related?
At this point, we're not sure if it's gang related. We do have gang investigators on scene.
The shooting happened just after 8 last night along Oakland Drive near the Oakland City MARTA station. The victim identified as Gabriel Seats. Police are still working to piece together what led to the shootout and haven't said if the surviving teen will face charges. Just hours later, another deadly shooting, this one at Bolden Village Apartments on Springdale Road, also in southwest Atlanta. A man in his 30s killed.
At this time, we do not have a motive as to why the shooting took place.
Earlier in the evening, yet another shooting, this time at the BP gas station on Cascade Road. 4 men shot, all survived. Investigators are now reviewing surveillance video, hoping to identify who pulled the trigger in both this and the Springdale shooting. Despite these violent incidents, Atlanta police say overall crime is down in the city. Homicides dropped 8% last year compared to 2023. But violence prevention advocates consistently sound the alarm this time of year when teens have more free time during summer recess.
In Atlanta, police say that if you know anything about any of these shootings, to contact Crime Stoppers. We have that information listed right now on our website, also inside the free Atlanta News First app. We're live outside Atlanta Police Headquarters downtown. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.